Hey guys, welcome to Knect Kids Plugged In video. Today, we're going to be talking about how God is the living God. That He's not dead, He is alive. Just like Jesus died on the cross and God raised Him from the dead, that means Jesus is alive and around each and every one of us. And that's incredible. But make sure you hang out for the game today because we're going to be doing a dance game. Woo woo! Sorry for that. Anyways, let's get started with today's super verse.
Jesus answered, I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know me, you will know my Father as well. From now on, you do know Him, and have seen Him. John 14:6 and 7.
Our God is the living God, not dead, alive, right? Now, look at this flower. Is this flower alive or dead? I don't know if you can tell, but this is definitely a fake flower. But real flowers are alive, and you can tell by what's inside that they're moving, that they grow, that they move forward, that they can do things, right? Just like us, right? When we're alive, we can jump and sing and scream for joy and do lots of things. And if God was dead, He couldn't do anything either. But because God is alive, He can do things in our life, right? He can help us in our situation. He can tell us an encouraging word. God is alive. Not like this fake flower. It's fake, fake. But God is real and authentic and awesome. And so when we think about God, we need to remember that God, He's alive and He's active and He could do whatever He wants, but He can do things. He's not somebody who's just when Moses was around or Jesus was around so many years ago. No, He's alive and He's here with us today. Alright guys, now we're gonna play Freeze Dance. The rules are pretty simple. All you gotta do is dance. Show off your best moves with whoever you're with, and as soon as I say freeze, you gotta stop right where you're at. Alright, sounds good? Let's go. Freeze. Unfreeze. Freeze. Unfreeze. Unfreeze. Freeze. Unfreeze. Freeze! Unfreeze! Good job, guys. Thanks for playing. All right, I'm excited to get started with today's lesson. Let's jump into Acts chapter 17. All right, today's story takes place in Acts 17. Last week we were in Acts 16. Remember, you got to look for the book at the top. The big number is the chapter, so we're looking for 17. So that shouldn't be too far. And there it is, Acts 17. Last week we talked about God delivers us, right? He delivered Paul and Silas from jail. Now, normally you'd take a couple days off, but not Paul. He worked, and so he knew that his missionary journey was far too important, so he kept on going. And his journey led him to a place called Athens, which is the capital of Greece. This was a huge city where lots of people and philosophers and religious people would go to the marketplace and start talking. And so Paul did that. He started to talk to people about Jesus. Now, this got a lot of people interested. They're like, who's this guy that he's talking about? Now, in the Greek, they don't believe in Jesus, but they do believe in lots of other gods. So they built up these shrines, they built up memorials, these statues, all these different things. And Paul realized that one of their statues was for an unknown God. An unknown God. They don't even know who they're worshiping. That's crazy talk. So this is what Paul says in verse 23. For as I walked around and looked carefully at your objects of worship, I even found an altar with this inscription, to an unknown God. So you are ignorant of the very thing you worship, and this is what I'm going to proclaim to you. Paul continues to start about the whole big God story, right? We're talking about Adam and Eve and how God made them. And he made everything. And he chose to give them the ability to choose, right? God wants everyone to love him. God wants everyone to know him. God wants us to make the decision, right? And it was Adam and Eve's decision to sin. And they fell short. And from that day on, we're dealing with that same sin problem. But God wants us to make a choice. So, as he starts from Adam and Eve, he continues all throughout the Bible, telling all the stories of what God was doing in each and every one of their lives to point people back to God. And he even came up to Jesus. And he said that Jesus died and was raised from the grave 3 days later. That means that Jesus is alive. Now, this confused a lot of people. But let's see what Paul says next. Verse 31. For he has set a day when he will judge the world with justice by a man he has appointed, and he has given proof of this to everyone by raising him from the dead. Since Adam and Eve's sin, we have sin in our body. We have sin in our blood. And so we need the sacrifice and love from Jesus Christ to be able to have a relationship with God. And that's what Paul was trying to say, is that if Jesus was going to die on a cross for us, but he stayed in the grave, then it wouldn't have been finished. He would have just paid the price. But instead, he took that price for us so we can live. God's so awesome that he loves us, and he wants us to choose to love him. See, God could have made robots. Go love me. Go do this. And they could have done it. But instead, God cares so much about us that he gives us the opportunity to choose for him. And you know what? It's almost like that flower earlier, right? The people of Athens, they put shrines up that this is the god of the sunflowers, right? And this is the god of something else, and the god of something else, and the god of something else. And those are all dead. And Paul is trying to say, this might give you comfort when you're sad. Some flowers are nice, but this doesn't smell, it's fake, right? But does this flower knows you, right? Knows your name? Knows how many hairs are on your head or on your chin if you have a beard, right? No, but God does. Will this one look after you when you're sick or sad or lonely? No, but God does. Will these flowers know you like a best friend that you can just talk to about anything? No, because they're dead. They're fake. They're nothing. Very dramatic. God wants us to know that He is alive, that He is the living God, that He wants a relationship with us, and that we need to choose Him. Alright guys, we're going to do some discussion questions. You know how it works. Just pause the video, discuss it with whoever you're with, and then hit play to move on to the next one. What did Paul say about God? What is the difference between false gods and the one true God? How can we help others know God? Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us for today's Knect Kids plugged in video. If you really enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit the like button so that it helps us out. Also, if you want to watch another video will pop up very soon. And if you're interested in getting notified when the newest video pops up, make sure you hit the subscribe button.